What I've noticed that really seems to be ruffling Donovan Lecter's feathers is the Oprah Winfrey interview with Kamala Harris that was star-studded. And I believe Kamala raised, what was it, Pumps? 100 million?
100 million in one night.
10 million viewers. Obviously, this type of metric flex that the Harris campaign can do, and she uses Kamala HQ to troll him and make sure that he knows this, especially she does it on True Social. So then he wakes up in the middle of the night and does a caps lock attack on Oprah Winfrey, wherein he sounds like a person who is incredibly jealous.
Oh, he sounds like a deranged lunatic that's incredibly jealous and that hates women. He hates Taylor Swift, he hates Oprah, he hates Kamala, he hates everybody if they have female parts.
But I really feel like at the core of this election is everybody knows what Donald Trump is. We know how he's going to react. Even though Kamala has been a national figure, there is an introduction that has to be done to somebody who's the vice president, because vice presidents never are really that big in front of everybody. You know right. Who they are, but they're not the main person.
Well, their main job is to hold up the principle.
And I feel like Kamala has been a severely underestimated candidate this entire time. And I think she is exceeding expectations left and right. And to paint that picture for you, let me play this clip for you guys right now of Kamala Harris at a recent rally in Atlanta.
1 in 3 women in America lives in a state with a Trump abortion ban. This includes Georgia and every state in the South except Virginia. Think about that when you also combine that with what we know has been longstanding neglect around an issue like maternal mortality. Think about that when you compound that with what has been longstanding neglect of women in communities with a lack of the adequate resources they need for health care, prenatal, during their pregnancy, postpartum. Think about that. And these hypocrites want to start talking about this is in the best interest of women and children. Well, where you been? Where you been when it comes to taking care of the women and children of America? Where you been?
That is just excellent campaigning. And when she says these hypocrites, I feel that with every fiber of my bone, because as you know, listener, we live in the buckle of the Bible Belt. And I see these people say, we are so pro-life. We think it's murder, abortion, yak, yak. But then when it comes to taking care of poor kids, particularly kids of color, they are so hateful. And there's really no other word to use except for that. The way white Christian people speak about Black and brown kids, Black and brown members of the community, is the opposite of being pro-life. And here she is advocating for women, saying, if you're so all about lifting up women and lifting up kids, what about the maternal mortality rate? And she said, look at these hypocrites. And I just love it.
I think she has done a fabulous job, soup to nuts, on her campaign. And she's bringing an issue out that so many people don't understand. These state rights, the abortion bans, they're killing women. And children are being murdered in gun violence incidents, and nobody gives a shit. And we need somebody that gives a shit. And she's talented, she's smart, she's thoughtful, and she's the kind of leader we need and deserve.
And I just think that you hear the press, even a lot of mainstream corporate media says, we don't know what Kamala's policies are. And it just infuriates me because she specifically points out what her policies are and what her positions are. And anytime you hear from Donald Trump, all he says is, we're going to take a look at that. Or he spews lies. Let me play you guys this clip, drawing a stark contrast to the competent, gifted politician that we just heard from, who cares about women, cares about children, cares about families. Listen to this lying liar.
allowing for Democrat-demanded late-term abortion in the 7th, 8th, and 9th month, or even execution of a baby after birth, which is what they want. I asked her about it during the debate, and she didn't want to answer it. I said, are you willing to have an abortion on a woman in the 9th month? And she didn't want to answer it. The answer is yes. And think of it, even after birth. It's called execution. I will protect women at a level never seen before. They will finally be healthy, hopeful, safe, and secure. Their lives will be happy, beautiful, and their lives will be great again. So women, we love you. We're going to take care of you.
I have had it with the lies regarding late-term abortion and this alleged murder / execution of babies that are being born. This is an absolute lie. What they're talking about, third trimester abortions, is less than 1% of all abortions. And what happens is complications can arise in any trimester. And oftentimes a woman who very much wants to be pregnant, who very much wants to deliver a baby, the baby dies, there's a problem that develops in utero, and sometimes the physicians have to perform a D&C. And what I have to say to this is it's none of my business. It's none of the government's business. This is a painful time for that woman, and she needs to collaborate with her doctors without government interference. And the lies about American physicians executing newborn babies in hospitals goes unchecked time and time again. And he continues and he repeats the lies, and his supporters are so stupid. They believe it, and you see it repeated on social media, and it is so infuriating.
It's so toxic. And listening to someone that's been found liable for sexual assault, I can't hear him talk about helping women. He's the reason we're here because of his abortion ban. And he is the biggest hypocrite, liar, unethical, immoral fuckface I've ever seen in my life.
Donald Trump is the opposite. He represents everything that is the antithesis of the women's movement. He's surrounded by men who egregiously speak out against the progress that women has made. His selection of vice president should tell you everything that he thinks about women. He is surrounded, his entire, all of his advisors, all of the politicians that he endorsed, all want a national abortion ban. These men are liars. His 3 Supreme Court picks lied in their Senate hearings. All of them lied. They said they would uphold Roe. They said it was decided law. They said it was the law of the land. Kamala Harris made Brett Kavanaugh cry. And that's how good she was at this. This is such a dangerous time. And as a lot of you know, last week we were on the Reproductive Freedom Tour bus in Pennsylvania. And it was so fun to be in a swing state. But many times while I was riding on that bus, I thought about the women who fought for Roe 50 years ago, before I was born. And they thought, okay, that's progress. What is the next ceiling that we're going to break? What's going to happen next? And instead, 50 years later, we're on that bus trying to get that right back. And Donald Trump has issued an abortion ban. His policies are abortion bans, and many women in the United States are starting to buy into his lying rhetoric that it isn't an abortion ban, and it is for millions of women. And their intention is to do a nationwide abortion ban, and then they're going to go after IVF, and then they're going to go after birth control, and it's just going to keep going and keep going. And the fuckery of Project 2025 will be relentless, and there won't be other elections. And I'm so tired of the media trying to act like there is, oh, there's rhetoric on both sides. There's dangerous talk on both sides. That is horseshit. That is complete horseshit. Pumps with all of the pressure of the election and our careers and our traveling schedule. Sometimes I feel like I just need to unplug and get a lot of personal stuff off my chest. And that's why I love my therapist with BetterHelp.
I love BetterHelp because I can do my therapy on my schedule. And best of all, I can do it from home where I'm completely uninhibited.
Exactly. Like right now, we're in Seattle, we're traveling in the hotel. I feel a lot of stress. Like, how we going to get all of this stuff done? I'm able to book an appointment with my BetterHelp therapist, and I can do it whether I'm on the road or at home or at work. Listener, if you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/IHIP today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/IHIP. Comes the pervasive lying from him regarding women's health care is, to me, it feels abusive and it feels like gaslighting towards women.
It absolutely is. And the misogyny. And here's the deal with Donald Trump. He lies about everything. He lies, and his supporters believe it. And he's saying, oh, I have nothing to do with Project 2025. That's a bunch of horse shit. Go read Project 2025. Look at the evidence on the internet. Just a light Google search, and he is all over Project 2025.
His name's mentioned 312 times in it.
Right. I mean, this is not someone that is completely unaware of Project 2025. The bottom line is he doesn't give a shit. He wants power for himself and other white men that are millionaires. That's it. That's the list.
But furthermore, he's gaslighting many conservative women right now by lying to them and telling them that babies are being executed and that he did not start an abortion ban, which he completely triggered an abortion ban the minute he overturned Roe, which he takes victory laps around. So he's lying to these people that have conservative leanings. And one day, these women that don't vote for him, I want you all to know that there are women out there that are fighting for you because you, your daughter, somebody you love could find themselves in a situation where they need privacy and they need a medical care. Whatever those reasons are, whether it's a date rape, whether they're young, whether it's a medical issue, she needs to be safe. It needs to be private, and it is a decision between a woman and her doctor. In every other first world country, every other first world democracy, this isn't even open for discussion. It's because of these crazy Christian nationalists, these Puritans, the same people in the South that were against desegregation. They're still torturing everybody in this country, and it is the religious right, and they want to take away rights from everybody unless you are a white male, and they get these women to go along with it. And Donald Trump right now is abusing these conservative women, and they don't know better right now, but we do. And we're fighting for your daughters, your granddaughters, or yourself, because one day you're going to need that right. Not only is he doing all the gaslighting and all of the other crazy shit that he says, listen to this clip.
Just this week, it was reported that an illegal alien, and you just look at this, what's happening.
Okay, so that's what we're getting. You either get complete lying lies that physicians in the United States of America are executing babies and are doing all these late-term abortions, which all of that is factually inaccurate and a total lie. Or you get where he sounds like a total drunk person at a rally with multiple cameras, and he's running for president for the third time in a row. And I want to remind you and the listener, this man is so wildly unpopular, he's never won the popular vote.
No, never won the popular vote. But what's amazing to me is Biden had a bad debate. There's no arguing that. Calls within the party were for him to step down. This guy has not completed a sentence in 9 years, and it's gotten exponentially worse this cycle. His rhetoric is worse. His inability to form a sentence and speak comprehensive language is just, it's unbelievable. And the fact that all the Republicans sit around and scratch their balls and go all in for this guy, it shows you how unhealthy the Republican Party is.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad that every single one of those Republicans are on the record. I am glad that the record will reflect for the Ted Cruzes, for the Lindsey Grahams, for the Nikki Haleys. I am so glad that there is video evidence of them endorsing this guy. And when they try to dust off their political careers and run for re-election after what I hope and what I believe is going to be an electoral mandate for Kamala Harris, I hope that the American public holds every single one of these traitors to democracy wholly accountable. Because let's not forget, January 6th was an inside job. An inside job was the president of the United States. And all of these big Republicans act like they're big time patriots. Oh, we're patriots. We love America. Yak, yak, blah, blah. And you see these craven lunatics bashing in the Capitol. For hours, Donald Trump does nothing to stop it. And all of these people that trot out the family values, law and order, pro-military, pro-USA, don't desecrate the flag, though their supporters walked in the Capitol and took a shit, a literal shit in the Capitol. So I'm glad that every single one of these Republicans is on the record and there's video evidence of them, because we are not going to ever forget it. We will never forget these people that have just drug this country's name through the mud. Their policies cause suffering.
And they cost people's lives.
Yes.
I mean, their policies allow people to die unnecessarily. It's unheard of in other first world countries, and it's immoral.
All right, we will be back in Oklahoma City tomorrow. So make sure you subscribe here wherever you get your podcasts, and we will see you then. It's so entertaining. Tap the vein. So